"Hey there," said one of the humans. "What's a lone goblin doing here carting valuables around?" Gobta didn't understand the words clearly, but he could sense the hostility in the tone. He hadn't noticed the human approaching until now, and he immediately felt the threat. Uh-oh, this can't be good. He reached for the handles of his wagon, ready to flee, but another human suddenly appeared in front of him, clad in metallic armor. The first human, dressed in lighter gear, peeked into the wagon and whistled in surprise. "Whoa, these are magic items, aren't they? We've hit the jackpot. All we need to do is get rid of this goblin, and we've covered our shopping expenses." "Really? I thought we'd just make some pocket money. This is fantastic. I can't wait to see the faces of those who didn't join us." Gobta, while trying to stay calm, realized he had to act quickly. The prospect of losing his valuables, and possibly his life, was very real. He knew he had to think fast to find a way out of this predicament. Gobta's heart pounded in his chest as the humans attacked, their strength and armor making it clear he had no chance. He braced himself for the worst, but then fate intervened once more. A new voice cut through the tension. "What are you people doing over there?" Gobta and his attackers turned to see a goblina standing firm, her muddy red hair hinting at her fighter status. Behind her, a kobold merchant caravan was clearly visible. She was a bodyguard. The two men exchanged glances, weighing their options. Facing an entire caravan led by a skilled warrior was no small risk, especially when they were just rank amateurs. Even if they were only after Gobta's goods, the presence of the goblina made it clear that continuing would be unwise. The armored man snorted in disdain. "We'll let you go this time." "Consider yourself lucky to be alive," added the other. With that, the two men turned and walked away, leaving Gobta behind. He was once again spared from what seemed like certain doom, thanks to the unexpected intervention of the goblina and her caravan. Relieved but still shaken, Gobta took a moment to collect himself before deciding what to do next. Gobta was overjoyed at his unexpected good fortune, but his euphoria was short-lived, as he soon lost consciousness. When he came to, he was greeted by the sound of a horse wagon and the stinging sensation of bruises inflicted by his attackers. As he opened his eyes, he was struck by the beauty of a red-haired goblina sitting beside him. She was unlike any goblin he had ever seen, with a nearly human appearance. Gobta was immediately smitten and forgot all about his injuries. He declared his love for her and begged her to bear his children, but his advances were met with scorn. The other occupants of the wagon found Gobta's declaration hilarious, but the goblina was not amused. She rebuked them for their teasing and told them to stay alert. Gobta, however, was too love-struck to notice the sarcasm. The goblina's rejection was harsh, as she told him she wouldn't consider a man who allowed himself to be bullied by humans. Gobta was heartbroken and fainted again, unable to bear the pain of rejection. Despite his failed romance, Gobta's journey took an unexpected turn when the kobold caravan brought him to the Dwarven kingdom, saving him from potential danger. Though his first love didn't work out, his first quest had inadvertently succeeded. With the help of his new kobold acquaintances, Gobta was swiftly directed to a Dwarven shop eager to purchase his belongings. The employees were taken aback to discover enchanted weapons beneath the tattered rags covering his wagon. But the transaction proceeded with the dwarves' characteristic professionalism. Having dealt with monsters regularly, the dwarves had developed a means of communication with them. One staff member gestured towards Gobta's hips, inquiring, "Are you selling that?" Gobta glanced down to find the knife still sheathed at his side, realizing he had mistakenly grabbed a mushroom earlier due to its location. He replied, "No, this is mine. Not selling." The dwarf nodded, acknowledging, "It's a fine piece, but its magical energy is nearly depleted. It might only function once or twice more." Gobta was unaware of the knife's true nature, and the dwarf revealed, "It's a magic weapon called a flame knife, crafted from silver and imbued with magic, originally designed for self-defense by human nobles." The dwarf offered to teach Gobta the incantation, cautioning him not to expect much due to the knife's limited remaining power. Gobta was thrilled at the prospect, and the dwarf emphasized the importance of proper care, stating, "It's a product of the Dwarven kingdom after all." The friendly dwarf taught Gobta the correct spell to use with the magic knife, finding the idea of a goblin wielding a dwarven weapon amusing. With his business complete, Gobta had exchanged his goods for everyday items like kitchen knives, pots, and breastplates suitable for goblins. He took these to the transfer station, where he received a special tube that would transport his items to his desired location. This magic transfer was more expensive, but it was the only option for Gobta, as he didn't know how to explain his home's location in the language needed for heavenly transport. Relieved to avoid pulling a full wagon back home, Gobta returned to the cellar to thank the dwarf who had helped him. "Hello, they're transferring my purchases. Thanks," he said. The dwarf recognized him and replied, "Oh, you again? Great. And here, take this back. We can't sell it." The dwarf handed Gobta a warm coat made from the animal pelts he had been using as a blanket. Gobta was surprised, but the dwarf explained that he wanted to help him prepare for his journey. The dwarf also gave him a backpack with dried food that would last a week, instead of paying him in money. Gobta was grateful for the dwarf's kindness, especially since the dwarf had made the magic knife he possessed. The dwarf wished Gobta a safe journey home, and then attended to another customer. Gobta left the shop wearing the new coat and backpack, feeling thankful for the dwarf's help. He thought to himself, "I've made it this far, so it's okay to take some time to explore." He decided to see the sights before heading back home. Gobta was in the Dwarven kingdom, a city inside a huge cave. Although he couldn't see the sun directly, the city was bright due to clever engineering that let in natural light. At night, glowing moss on the walls provided enough light. However, fire use was limited because of ventilation issues, and cooking was only allowed in certain indoor areas. After his long journey, Gobta felt dirty and smelly, which was normal for goblins who didn't bathe often. But in the lodging area, his smell stood out and made others uncomfortable. Even Gobta felt embarrassed. He thought, "I don't like it here. Maybe I should leave soon." He decided to head home, which was a good idea since he had no money, didn't understand how to use it, and had just bartered with a dwarf for goods. It was time for him to go. Gobta decided to leave the city and head back on his journey. But then he saw a beautiful store filled with lovely elf women. They had long, golden hair and pointed ears. Gobta thought they were stunning and wanted to be friends with one of them. He believed that if he became stronger, they would like him. Gobta spent the night in the park near the city gate, wearing the warm coat the dwarf made for him. He slept comfortably and woke up feeling energetic. He filled his water skin from a nearby fountain and set off, leaving the city behind. Gobta was excited to start his journey again and work towards his new goal of becoming stronger and making friends with an elf girl. As Gobta left the city, a kobold merchant greeted him. "Hey, kid, are you done here?" Gobta saw the kobold, 2 hobgoblin fighters, and the red-haired goblina from the caravan. "Oh, it's you!" Gobta exclaimed. The caravan was ready to leave, and the kobolds invited Gobta to join them. "We're going the same way, so why not ride with us? Just help us if any bandits or wild beasts show up," the leader said with a smile. Gobta didn't notice the sarcasm and happily accepted the offer. The group traveled along the river path, having a peaceful journey through the grasslands and into the forest of Jura. Gobta hunted birds and gathered nuts and fruit to share with the caravan. He was proud to be helping and felt happy to be with the group. The leader praised Gobta. "You're really good at this. Look at all the food you've found for us." Another kobold added, "You must know the forest of Jura very well. You're more helpful here than we expected." Gobta beamed with pride, enjoying the praise he never received in his village. Later, they came across colorful, poisonous mushrooms again. Gobta wondered if he had eaten one of those before, but the kobold goblina warned him, "Don't eat the plain ones. They're deadly fire spores. They can even explode and spread poison when exposed to fire." Gobta nodded, grateful for the warning. He had no intention of eating something so dangerous. Gobta and his friends were gathering food and preparing dinner when a terrifying roar echoed through the air. The blade tiger, a magical beast Gobta had previously defeated, appeared, its rage and anger palpable. The tiger, still recovering from its previous injuries, had been seeking revenge for its damaged reputation. With a powerful roar, it unleashed a voice cannon attack, blowing one of the guards away. The blast showcased the tiger's immense power, leaving the guard gravely injured despite his full-plate armor. The remaining hobgoblin, paralyzed with fear, could only hold his axe and watch the blade tiger in terror. No one blamed him, as hobgoblins were no match for a powerful beast like the blade tiger. Gobta, who had inadvertently defeated the tiger before, knew he had to act to protect his new friends. The female guard whispered, "Don't provoke it. This blade tiger is too powerful. It would take at least 10 of us to stand a chance. Merchants, we need to surrender our goods and slowly back away." She prioritized their survival, hoping to escape while the tiger was distracted by the horses. However, the tiger sought revenge, not food. It glared at the guards searching for Gobta and snarled at the kobolds trying to flee. The merchants cowered, realizing they would receive no mercy. A guard murmured, "This is it. It won't let us go." The female guard instructed, "We'll charge it. Merchants, once we start, run for your lives. Don't group together, or you'll die." She prepared for a desperate last stand against the blade tiger. The guards were prepared to sacrifice themselves to save their clients, but Gobta saw the situation as an opportunity. He recognized the blade tiger as the one he had previously defeated with the mushroom and thought, "I can beat him again." Gobta charged forward, shouting, "You can leave this to me." The blade tiger gave chase, ignoring the others. The group was stunned, with the female bodyguard exclaiming, "That idiot? How could he be so reckless?" However, the guards quickly regrouped, recognizing the chance to escape. "Everyone, get out of here now. We'll hold the tiger off." They told the merchants to flee, promising to send a flare signal if they managed to escape the monster. The guards helped the merchants escape, while Gobta distracted the blade tiger. As the tiger closed in, Gobta's fear grew, but he didn't regret his decision. Instead, he came up with another plan. He stopped running, turned around, and threw an object from his pocket at the tiger. The tiger, surprised, hesitated to use its voice cannon, remembering its past mistake. Instead, it decided to bite down on the object to stop it. As soon as the tiger bit down, Gobta shouted, "Unseal!" The object, likely a magical item, was activated, and its effects were about to unfold. The tiger's decision to bite down on the object instead of using voice cannon might have sealed its fate. Gobta's plan unfolded perfectly. The magical tube's contents, including pots, pans, and weapons, expanded inside the tiger's mouth, ripping its jaw off. Gobta celebrated, but knew the fight wasn't over. He pulled out his flame knife, ready to finish the job. However, he hesitated, realizing that using the knife would also burn his scattered belongings. So he decided to lure the tiger deeper into the forest. The blade tiger, driven by pain, rage, and a desire for revenge, mindlessly chased Gobta. Gobta led the tiger into a dense thicket, reducing its advantage and creating more distance between them. The tiger's fury and desire for revenge consumed it, making it easy prey for Gobta's next move. Gobta faced the blade tiger, which was now trapped in the dense underbrush, limiting its mobility. He threw the flame knife, activating it with the word, "Fire." The tiger, still wary, deflected the knife with its upper jaw fang. However, this was exactly what Gobta had planned. The deflected knife landed near a special mushroom, which exploded upon contact with the heat, releasing lethal poison and triggering a chain reaction of explosions. The blade tiger, caught in the midst of the blasts, suffered devastating damage. Exhausted, Gobta was greeted by the guards, who praised his cunning and fighting skills. They took over, finishing off the injured tiger. Gobta emerged victorious, his plan having paid off perfectly. He had outsmarted and defeated a powerful B-ranked magical beast, the blade tiger. Gobta and the caravan bid each other farewell, going their separate ways. Gobta complained about breaking his treasure and having to pull the wagon back home, but his smile showed he wasn't too bothered. The head merchant thanked him again for saving their lives. The Goblina guard tried to say something, but Gobta cut her off, declaring his determination to get stronger and defeat another magical beast to save her life. This might have been for the best, as it gave Gobta the encouragement he needed to keep striving. Gobta's love for the Goblina guard would likely remain unrequited, but he was content with the admiration and respect he had earned from her and the others. As Gobta vanished into the forest, The guards and merchants couldn't help but admire him. The female guard whispered to herself, "I wouldn't mind having children with him." Her friend teased her, saying it wasn't too late, but the guard dismissed the idea, thinking Gobta was too special, too different from them. She believed Gobta possessed something unique, a quality that enabled him to survive against all odds. Her friend agreed, and they stood there, watching until Gobta disappeared from view, lost in their thoughts about the remarkable goblin who had saved their lives.